Saudi Arabia is all set to host Ukraine, the United States, some European countries and major developing countries for peace talks on the Russia-Ukraine war on August 5 and 6 in the Red Sea port city of Jeddah. India has also confirmed its active participation in this much-anticipated peace summit, saying that it is in line with her position that dialogue and diplomacy is the only way forward. The summit comes when there seems to be no end to the stalemate between Russia and Ukraine, and drone warfare between the two countries are becoming new normal. Russia has not been invited for the talks, but it says that it will indeed be keeping a very close watch on this summit, where Ukraine would be seeking to garner support for its 10-point peace plan proposed last year. The most crucial question is whether this peace summit would be able to achieve anything substantial, whether the world would be able to thaw the ice between Russia and Ukraine. While both Ukraine and Russia have signaled their openness to talk on global platforms, they squarely reject what peace would look like for the other. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky continues to hold his position that peace negotiations cannot happen without the withdrawal of Russian troops, and that Ukraine should be in the driver's seat and define its own terms of peace. The 10-point peace plan that Zelensky is promoting since last year's G20 summit involves the withdrawal of Russian troops and restoring Ukraine's territorial integrity as per its 1991 borders post the breakdown of the Soviet Union, and reaffirming it according to the UN Charter, besides prosecuting war crimes committed by Russia. Russia, which has rejected the plan and is unwilling to cede any of the captured territory in Ukraine, has said that any negotiations should happen factoring in new realities, indicating redrawn borders, including the territories it has annexed. Since last year, however, multiple countries and blocs have shown willingness to become mediators between the two parties, offering their own roadmaps for peace. While no plan has yet been accepted by both Russia and Ukraine, it has highlighted strategic attempts at mediation by influential players in other parts of the globe, as the West's current position remains that of supporting Kyiv militarily. The sense in the air is that this would be just another measure of tokenism, and perhaps an effective and lasting compromise would not be feasible in this summit. While observers are not expecting an overall breakthrough from the talks when it comes to achieving peace in protracted conflict, it is being seen as a constructive way of promoting third-party mediation by players apart from the West, and of bringing to the table both the West non-aligned countries of the Global South, which have refused to isolate Russia. Saudi Arabia maintains close ties with Moscow and is a part of the influential oil cartel OPEC+. It has also drawn criticism for cutting oil outputs and driving out prices at a time when supplies from Russia face sanctions. Analysts also point out other hindrances to current peace negotiations. While some countries have suggested a ceasefire, Ukraine does not trust Russia to uphold it, also believing that any break from the battlefield would give Russia time to recoup and come back with more force. Before any sort of negotiated end to the conflict, Ukraine is also demanding a long-term security plan from the West or NATO, keeping in mind that Russia would continue to be its neighbor, while the latter's rationale behind launching the offensive was the extension of military alliances in its neighborhood. So, in all likelihood, the summit might not be able to achieve anything concrete. More clear picture would emerge only after the summit concludes.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.